When I was growing up, some people used to say you're smart, but it never got to this level, I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to think of like at what point I could be considered a nerd, and I think it's right now. Right now in my life is the biggest I've ever been a nerd, which is odd because when I go back in my life, I was never a stereotypical like jock or nothing. But now that I think about it, I kind of could have fit that role. Yeah, I was never a bully. Bully and me never had any type of vocab. I was never a mean-spirited person. I never looked at people and thought, hey, it's my chance to dogpile if somebody was making fun. I never did that in life. It's not my body.
Black nerds, aka blurs, is the topic of today's video. Now me, I consider myself
You bully Chad every stream? No, you niggas bully. You try to bully me every stream, but you don't know how much of a real nigga and how much self-confidence that I have. So it'll never work on me. Me versus 1,000 niggas, I'm winning every single day. That's just how I operate.
But some may not. So for example, I love video games. I've been playing them since.
Most people are nerds. It's a normal thing. I don't think so. When I think about like nerd, when you say most people are nerds, I don't believe that because most people don't have a thing. Like most people gotta have a thing, and most people I feel like move kind of like NPC-ish. I'm not saying that a lot of people don't have interests, but something that you like specifically like laser I mean like damn near autistic levels of focus on a particular thing is what I feel like is reserved for nerds.
I've always loved sci-fi films, consumed about every DC and Marvel comic. On the flip side, I'm not into anime. But growing up, I was
Wait a minute, my what? I mean, that makes sense, but I don't be hearing it like that. I'm gonna be honest.
DC and Marvel comic. On the flip side, I'm not into anime. But growing up, I was.
So nerds are autistic? To be a nerd, in my opinion, it sometimes can border autistic levels of focus on the whatever it is that you're interested in. And obviously, like, autistic people themselves can be nerds, obviously, but I'm saying, like, those who aren't diagnosed, I feel like you need almost that level of focus on a particular interest that you have to be considered a nerd.
Samurai Jack, Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I guess to some,
like hyperfixation.
So within the black community, especially growing up in the hood, being a nerd or just even consuming the culture will make you stand out. It goes against what's stereotypical for black people. This is a flaw within the black community that I do not like. I say this all the time, but as black people, we are not a monolith. And we gotta start respecting that within the community. I will say this though, I feel like in 2025, being a nerd is kind of cool. Let's say versus the 2010s or the 90s. It is most definitely more acceptable now.
I want to talk about how all of a sudden being a nerd is in and we're erasing all of like that awful childhood stuff that happens to so many of us. Because now it's, oh, we weren't bullying y'all because y'all were into anime. We were bullying y'all because y'all stank. Or y'all were always doing something weird.
I will say at least 80% of the time it was because of this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, regardless of whatever she about to say in the video right now, I respect it. But at the same time, a lot of these niggas have very, very low social IQ. And that's okay. You can learn that. And it's easier to learn that when people are patient with you. 100%. But if you are a kid, it's not something that you're going to realize until you get older that other kids are also kids. So they don't have the level of patience. But when you're dealing with like an adult, obviously they shouldn't be making fun of you or nothing like that. And it sucks you went through that. But it's 9 times out of 10 not because you liked anime or because you, you know, nerded out over computer parts or nothing like that. You know, it just wasn't the case, you know, because I was a big anime fan when I was growing up. When I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, I've always been into anime, like damn near my whole life. I never had a problem with nobody. I would tell my friends that I fuck with anime and they would say what I was interested in was weird, but they didn't call me weird for liking it.
A few. A lot of y'all were bullying us just for being into different things. I went to many schools with others.
But there are people that will make their comments though. Some people will make their comments and be like, hey, yeah, nah, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I'm just going by my personal experience though, but I will say a lot of y'all did not have the best social IQ.
Smart black kids. I love to read. And I got the pants bullied off of me for liking to read in a smart school. I had my black card revoked so often, I'm pretty sure I'm still in black folk debt because like I don't think I have one. white girl, whitest black girl I know, Oreo, wanna be white, all of it, all the time.
And I'm telling you, like, see, these new age black geeks, they will never understand how it was to be a black geek back in the 2000s or 2010s.
What's the difference between a geek and a nerd? I feel like geek is like damn near a slur. A nerd is like obviously the more acceptable. Like when people picture nerd, they're like, okay, but nerds can be attractive. They can be well spoken. They can be like, you know what I'm saying? Like basically could just be like Sean. But like in my thoughts, when I think of a geek, I'm thinking of like a social outcast, like a nose picker, stinky McGee kind of guy. Like I'm not thinking of nobody that's like, you know what I'm saying, that's socially interactable.
Now that was the trenches. Like I consider myself a black geek
Geeks are just not smart. Nerds are smart. This is interesting.
activist because, bro, back in the day, bro, I had to defend my hobby. Like y'all don't understand, the insults were crazy. Like we would be talking about like normal like crap in front of everybody, and then like we would go home on our computer and be having discussions about anime with people online. Like people don't understand. Back then, most of our anime discussions or geek discussions were like on were on the internet. They were not in real life, because if you even spoke about anime, like you were about to get ostracized real quick.
Now for me, y'all, I did not have
Ostracized. That's interesting.
these problems, and that's why I kind of think to myself, was I really a nerd or am I really a nerd? But looking back, I was most definitely a nerd, bruh. This was me in the 10th grade.
I'm so sorry. That fucked up. But it's the glasses make everybody look crazy. Also, I can't say nothing else.
I mean, I had a 4.0 GPA, was in pretty much all AP classes, dog.
No. You're saying, Sean, please, there's nothing wrong with that. You can look back on it now and be like, nah, that's a funny ass photo. But if I was his friend, if he was in school together, I wouldn't be like laughing at my dog.
I was textbook nerd.
I would be laughing at my dog, but he'd be laughing with me.
The thing about it is, as a black nerd, you really just gotta find your group of people. And even just being a nerd in general, I hate this talking point, because even nerds in the white community are done the same way. Like,
I got bullied for liking anime, and then I got bullied for wearing anime and an Avatar t-shirt, and like that I liked Pokemon, and that I carried a DS, and I was in bands. Like and I had braces, and I had glasses.
I don't know what white bullying looks like outside of like school shooting. No joke, I'm not even trolling. I just don't know what it looks like. Like I see it in movies, but I've never like experienced it. And there was like maybe 3 white people in my class when I was growing up, and one of them literally like gave off the ooze and the energy that he would do something to any person that crossed him. So it just like wasn't a situation where he could be bullied.
There was just so many reasons, and I had short hair. There was just so many reasons to get bullied that like getting into Kingdom.
White people bully hard? Bro, the only example of like really bad bullying that I have of white people in my mind is this movie. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of it. Like he was he wanted to be a baseball player. And this bully that came around literally beat the shit out of him. Like, not on no like I'm making fun of you in front of the whole class type vibe. Like, it's got 3 kids, Book, some other dude with a shag, and then another dude with a really horrible haircut. I just don't remember the name of it. And they're going up against this one dude. He's like bigger than them, but he's obviously still a kid. He is beating the shit out of them whole movie, and it gets so bad that they get a gun to kill the nigga, and then they end up shooting each other. I'm like, yo, that's the peak of like when I see white people bullying each other. I'm like, oh no, this is where it's going.
Hard.
So when I hear black people getting bullied, I'm like, oh shit. This stops at a certain point though. Sticks and Stones, that's what it's called. It's called Sticks and Stones.
Don't worry, we're gonna make it. We've been looking for clues to find Clay.
Oh, I'm sorry. The clue board? You mean my clue board?
So all those nerds in high school, like the weird theater kids and the anime people.
Hi, weird theater kid, captain of the speech and debate team, anime fan.
You know who I'm talking about, the people we didn't hang out with.
Thank God for that, by the way.
So they've grown up now, and they're the ones making the laws. They're the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're the Faucis of the world of fucking nerds.
I hate
What
to
happened to that girl, by the way?
break it to you, but those effing nerds are not just the Mark Zuckerbergs and Fauci's. They're highly successful, influential people, because it turns out hitting the books actually was helpful.
This isn't just a black thing. Maybe the
That's not always the case though.
talking points of, you know, you're acting white is that talking point, but as far as you getting bullied or looked down upon, it's pretty much the same way. Kids are mean. Like I stated, you have to find your people. And with me, I had a different group of friends for like pretty much every situation. Like growing up in the hood, though.
I don't think kids are mean though, like at least by nature. I just think kids are impatient, you know, and they don't have like the understanding and the nuance to understand like, okay, this might be this because this XYZ, like 9 times out of 10. But I don't think it's in a kid's nature to be mean. They just don't understand a lot of shit. You understand like the intent of bullying is to make like somebody feel low or beneath. There's a lot of kids that like behave and act like that. I just feel like, I don't know, I just extend a lot more grace to kids. But if you're a kid getting bullied, you obviously not gonna think about it that way.
My nerd friends. So I had that group of friends, and I had my friends that was back in the hood. And also I played sports. I love sports. So, you know, I had my friends for basketball. The one thing I did deal with though that I hated was me being labeled a game freak. Like I just love playing the game. I remember growing up, bro, like they'll come knock on my door for me to come outside. I'd be like, bro, I'm on a game and I don't feel like coming inside. Like, you a game freak, bro, get out. But I always felt like it was just like with love. Like they was joking, but it was with love. And
that's me. That's me. That's why it's hard to kind of identify, because I did my fair share of clowning. My friends did their fair share of clowning. I felt like I felt like at the end of the day it was all love.
I stated this in one of my second channel videos. I feel like the black community, our love language is joking. So, you know, maybe sometimes these jokes were hurting your feelings, but it wasn't like meant in that way. This isn't justifying it, but that's my thought. Anyways, with them already having this backlash from the black community, in return, they end up being very anti-black.
Like, it's not that I didn't want to connect with black people, but I didn't know any other blurbs that like Minecraft. And a blurb put me closer to whiteness, not because I wanted to hang out with white people, but I just wanted to hang out with that like Minecraft. Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't. I do think there's a point. No, you're saying, Sean, nigga, hold on, because you're throwing me off. The whole aesthetic threw me off at first, but then when a nigga said blurs, that really threw me off, because I'm like, oh, we're using this verbiage like in sentences like it's a real word. And so that also threw me off. And then the last thing that threw me off was like, why don't you just try to make friends with people that have different interests than you, so you can maybe develop interests of theirs too? Like, I don't be like in my mind like, oh yeah, I have this thing that I like and I'm only gonna find people to hang out with that are only interested in this thing, and then be mad when, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to make it a point to have more black friends, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm only gonna look for only anime black niggas if I'm not finding anybody, and be like, oh, well, this is my excuse as to why I'm closer to whiteness.
I just want to say it is incredibly dangerous to be in close proximity to whiteness no matter what. And the reason why I say that is because I think hanging around with people that like Minecraft and everything definitely ingrained some self-hating attributes to me. It's not because of Minecraft, but it's the proximity to whiteness.
Within the nerd culture, there is not a lot of black representation. Just think about it. You're constantly consuming this media of people that don't look like you, while receiving this hate from the people that look like you. That is going to turn into internalized racism. And
well, also, it's the talking points from a lot of the media that portrays or likes to portray black people in unfavorable lights, and makes it seem as though, especially when you see other content creators, especially that make content about like, oh, black people need to do better because they heard a couple raunchy rap songs, or because they saw a rapper do XYZ, or one black person, they're like, oh, we got to do better as a whole community.
I saw someone say, when did the nerd community just become another avenue or pipeline for right-wing grifting? And the answer is simple. The same way that the gym community became just another avenue for right-wing grifting and right-wing content. The same way like dating advice stuff has just become another avenue for right-wing grifting. What does the gym community, the dating advice community, and the nerd community all have in common? It's full of lonely people. A lot of people in the nerd community get into nerd shit because they're lonely. A lot of people start working out because they're heartbroken and they're lonely.
I don't think these are one-to-one. I mean, I think you could find a large group of people that obviously get into these hobbies because something happened, and you know, all of a sudden now it's time for me to get my body right and get my spirit and my soul right, or try to link myself oneness and, you know, try to really lock in. But I feel like, yes, there is a huge right-wing community within the gym guru space. You're gonna find 9 times out of 10 somebody with ultra conservative or right-wing values if you follow like a gym content creator. I never fell into these pipelines, so it's really hard to say, but I could just remember myself when I really was trying to start working out. My motivations for it weren't because of any outside factor outside of me just wanting to get strong, and that was it. I do think it's stereotypical to say, but it's not like entirely wrong, but it does paint a broad stroke. Like, this is the only type of person you're going to find when you go and, you know, try to find this type of content. I just don't think that's completely fair. You know, I liked, what was the dude's name? He's a short guy with blonde hair. I thought he was really analytical and at least scientifically based with a lot of his theories on working out. when I would see some of his videos, and there was like 2 other people. And then I try to stay away from people that actively like use gear and steroids when I was looking at, you know, videos like that. But outside of that, I didn't feel the need to continue to try to find a whole bunch of people to follow and look at. I just found people that I thought were, you know, based in some decent shit. Because the Hodge twins taught me. That's what it was. The Hodge twins taught me very early on what can happen when you start following people from different platforms and different avenues. Like, I always kept it workout. I don't want to watch any content from a workout guru outside of workout content. The Hodge twins should be niggas' biggest example. I should have saw it coming, but I never in a million years thought that the Hodge twins would be the raccoon ass niggas that they are when I was watching these funny little dumb advice videos and workout videos like a decade ago. You couldn't have told me that at the time. Obviously, I was younger too.
Everybody else except you is the problem. Now go buy my course. That's basically an infinite money glitch. That's why. It's just lonely people.
Same with Tyrone Magnus. Oh, no, I always looked at that nigga as what he was. Yeah, no, I was always cooked for him.
Who crave acceptance and
then again, I was older when I first saw his video, so again, you never know.
A sense of community are taken advantage of just in the way that cults do. Like, it's really not that complicated.
Now, the anti-blackness goes up another notch because a lot of black males in the nerd space feel like black women just hate them.
I'm curious to know if this is...
Yeah, this is a sentiment that I see a lot. In real life, not even on no like, yeah, nah, like, this is an internet ass perspective. Like, nah, I really be seeing niggas.
It's actually a thing. Black women will ignore men that look like this because he's weird, lame, nerdy, until he achieves success, then see him with a woman like this, and then all of a sudden label him a sellout. Let's be real, a lot of y'all don't like black women to begin with. Don't matter if you're a D1 athlete or a comic book nerd, there's a very small majority of black men that do not like black women. Now, why is that? I couldn't tell you. But at the end of the day, this argument right here could be a little bit valid if we're considering that there are unrealistic expectations for black men, especially young black men in this economy and in this world right now. And there is that stigma of hypermasculinity in the black community. This automatically would make nerds and simps unattractive and certainly undesirable.
Black girls called you ugly? So do you want me to believe that the white girls called you handsome?
Wow. That's a bar. However, you can't tell some of them that. Because at the time, there was a surge, and I don't know about now. But there was a big surge for a particular point in time. I think it was like right around the late 2000s, mid 2010s to early 2010s, where there was this explosion of interracial couples, specifically white girls and black dudes. It was an explosion of them for a particular point in time. And I do think a lot of it came down to not how attractive they found some of the people that they ended up being with, but just out of the fantasy of, oh, I got with, you know what I'm saying, a nigga. I got with a black guy. I got with this. I got with that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them didn't have any type of, you know what I'm saying, woman rubric or girl rubric at all. And so they just thinking to themselves, oh yeah, no, I'm not nigga, until you realize, you see on the sideline, like, yo, no, this is all that you're going for, and this is all that they're going for, and y'all just feeding each other's fetish, like back and forth, like that's it.
Once again, I did not experience this. This isn't to say it's not true, but I just feel like it's the way you carry yourself. And also, you just gotta find your, like, swagger, you know? There's a stereotype of, like, the smash bro type of hairstyle. Maybe your lips be crusty. In simple terms, man, you just gotta have game. White nerds go through the same problem while talking to white women. So, like, I hate that correlation as well. And I think what the problem is, a lot of people be holding on to what happened in high school. Whether that be the glory days or...
I don't know if white nerds had the same complications, because they had more freedoms to be who they were and even have sympathizers outside of, you know, their own core community to be understood or be looked at favorably. But I will say, I'll give black nerds a little bit more grace in the sense that, like, it was probably harder if you felt ostracized to find a group of people that didn't turn you to, like, an anti-black pipeline that made you feel like some level of validation. Because I can't speak to how people react when they feel slighted or when they feel bad about themselves and they kind of feel like they need to find a target we're to navigate those negative emotions and nobody's overseeing them. Maybe they have a single parent, or maybe they, aren't paid attention to in the household. I don't know, but I just know that there seems to be like a lot more obstacle and a lot more work that somebody would have to navigate if they weren't socially accepted as a black nerd or whatever the case is. So I do get it. It would be like, it's jarring to see, but years later, I can't say that I'm like too angry or I'd be like too put off if I saw somebody behaving that way now. It would be sad, obviously, but I kind of could. I'm trying to understand it.
Those be the bad days. It's been 10 years, bro. We don't care that you scored a touchdown in 10th grade. And yes, you may have been bullied in high school, but let that shit go, brother. My entire friend group is majorly made up of nerds. My best friend, this is us when we graduated, he was valedictorian. I was like maybe 4th in the class. Now he is most definitely considered a nerd. I mean, huge WWE fan, very into anime, loves video games, but he's never had a problem talking to black women. And big shout out to my boy. He just graduated from Clemson University, what, 2 years ago now?
I mean, that's fire. But it's a lot of people that went on this journey alone. I get it. I really do. I'm trying to understand. But I also try to understand that, like, I wasn't that when I was in school. I just wasn't. I cannot identify with the socially awkward loner who will see a group of people and be like, oh, no, I want that for myself, and not go talk to them. I can't identify with that person. But I'm trying to, at the age that I am now, look from that point of view and be like, damn, I don't know what was holding that person back from trying to go interact and socialize so they wouldn't ultimately find themselves alone years later and feeling a certain type of way about people. But if they end up in that space, it's like, damn, how do you get out of that? And you've known that and only that for God knows how many years. Like, that's a tough, I guess, hole to dig yourself out of, especially knowing how we interact as grown people now. Like, we kind of expect everybody to have their shit together. You get what I'm saying? Like, at this age or at this stage, like, it's kind of difficult. I gave the excuse that kids don't really have the patience, but neither really do adults when you think about it. Like, we don't have the patience for that type of shit either, especially when the person that you're talking about is grown. It's like, well, damn, it's like this person got to just figure it out. And I get it, they should, but it's just, I feel like it's a little bit more complicated than just letting it go.
We just got off the game a few hours ago.
I feel like a big part of the black nerd experience is going back trying to watch your favorite YouTubers and realizing just how much racist commentary was throughout the entire video.
Well, see, I don't have that problem because I barely watched white content creators when I was watching YouTube. My favorite YouTube content creators when I was growing up was like Hot Damn I Rock was probably my favorite. There was this other dude, the Marka J, that used to upload these Call of Duty videos. Who else did I like watching? I used to think Dashy was Dominican. I don't know what the fuck he is, though, to be honest. I think Chris Smooth was around back then.
No, I was autistic most of my life, and it's very lucky that I never externalized my frustrations about my situation. It kinda just led to me internalizing it and feeling like there must be something I'm doing wrong that I can't shake for whatever reason.
It's hard and confusing, but I, like, skated by being an incel and still ended up a loner mostly. Like, society isn't very kind to people that don't present themselves correctly and very dismissive of anybody that has any quirks. People don't generally work around you is basically what I'm getting at. And whether you in school or whether you're an adult, unless you have somebody that's genuinely, like, inquisitive and patient, sometimes those people that, like, behave a little bit off the cuff, but there isn't behavior that you would say is problematic, is still something that people aren't willing to wait by and be like, damn, maybe I should hear this person out or see how they work. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a failure every day I wake.
God damn.
I don't fit in with most people my age. I'm 24. Everyone go to parties, pop out to functions, including my mom, and I don't fit into that.
Damn.
I always been a quiet individual.
Nah, I get that. But what I will say, for people that have, like, the quiet complex, you're not gonna get nowhere unless you open your mouth. I know it sounds bad. I know it's a cliche, but especially as somebody who, like, medically speaking, I think is another good way to. Ever since I turned like 20 or 21 years old, I've been super adamant about telling my doctor everything. Like, there's this obsession with that people have with closing things or not asking for too much or not going too far. So when you got like a waiter and you see that they just came to your table like 6-7 times, there's people that won't ask for that last extra box because they're like, oh, I don't want to make this person mad, even though it will be to my benefit if I ask for an extra piece. There's this additional layer of information that I need from my doctor that, yeah, I mean, they probably could answer it for me, but I've already been here talking their ear off for 30 minutes. Like, even though it will benefit me, it's probably going to inconvenience them. Like, let me just be quiet. Everything in life you have to ask for. Everything. Like, when you get to a certain point, you got to realize that just people aren't thinking about you that much. And it's not because you don't matter. It's just because there's everything else going on in the world. Like, there's so many other things that are happening in the world that people are thinking about and focused on. You just can't internalize it to a point where you say nothing about what you need or what it is that you want. So if you see somebody, I train myself to do it too, because I'm not a cold approacher. I tell people this all the time. When it comes to girls, when it comes to women, I never put myself out there ever. But they, thankfully, you know what I'm saying, they come to me or I have an inviting energy. But I went out of my way at one point in my life to, when I saw something that I liked and I thought like, okay, I want to talk to her, I would just give a, I would give a compliment. I would at least speak. I would intro with something that I felt like we could start a conversation off of, and it would usually be like a compliment. Even if it was like a dude, I know dudes that come up to me, and I'm not saying that they're trying to start a friendship or start a relationship or nothing like that, but people go out of their way and they just say something, just say what's on your mind. I feel like just talking to people and just being a little bit more outspoken. You're 24 too. Like, nobody gonna hold your hand. Nobody's gonna hold your hand at all. Just say something. Just speak. It don't have to be long. It don't have to be the perfect conversation. It can be awkward. You can be like, oh, I hate that I just did that. I'm cringing. Just speak. Just speak. You have to let your own presence be known. Nobody's going to like do it for you. Nobody's going to roll out a red carpet. They're not going to grab your hand and pull you out. Unfortunately, I know it sucks, but you're not a kid no more. You're not a kid no more. And the more you do it, the easier it'll get. The more you say and like you put yourself in positions where you like are social, even if you don't have any friends, put yourself in situations where you are going to be forced to talk to people. 24 years old, not young enough to, maybe you don't want to go to a bar. Maybe you don't want to go to a club. It's places that you can go, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Where you could find other maybe people that are like-minded that may even have similar interests to you. I don't know. But you got to do work. If you want something at this stage in your life, just know you're going to have to pursue it. You have to pursue it. Every time. Every time. And it's okay if you're scared or if you're anxious, but you still got to do it. You cannot avoid it, is my point. This is something that a lot of people, I feel like, even that may be referencing this video, aren't understanding too. You cannot avoid the process. It sucks, but you will get through it. You're going to get over the hill. That little hump, you going to get over it, I promise you. And when you do, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so happy I did that.
Like, when did Jen call it Michael Jackson a monkey flower?
Nigga said I was a street performer. Like, what even about my aesthetic would even give you the impression?
And not even just them, like other gaming channels and YouTubers too, especially in gaming.
Yeah, it was big in gaming. She's right on that.
And I can already hear the whole, oh, it was a different time argument. I can get that. It's really the fact that black kids really never had a safe space.
That's facts. I was talking about this in that Fantano N-word video too, even when it came to music content, and as late as 2017.
And I feel like that's why it's so easy for them to be
the internet in general.
Indoctrinated into like the red pill pipeline, because it was just small stuff in every single video that we could even like explore within like the nerd genre.
For example, like me growing up, the biggest gaming YouTuber in the world was PewDiePie. And I watched his videos, but like
we know where that went.
It was something off. I couldn't really connect with him. And this was before he had the whole N-word incident. But it was extremely rare for me to find another black gaming content creator. And this is why I give so much praise to creators like Berleezy, RDC World, Corey S. Kenshin. Because, bro, representation matters. And it's like growing up in these nerd spaces, we rarely get it. And that is why I love that with the visibility that TikTok brings in 2025, I've been finding some amazing like comic book creators that are making pro-black comics for black people, bruh.
This right here is my comic book known as the Black Fist, and this is one of the most popular series in the Battle Chi universe. Let's talk about it. Black Fist takes place in the 1960s. It's about a superpowered alien that piques the interest of a KKK Grand Wizard.
This nigga is not saving me, on God. I'm sorry. I fuck with it heavy though, but this nigga is not gonna be my savior. I'm not getting flown up. I'ma just take the L. They got the noose already around me, gang. Just let them do that thing. Cause if they get a picture of you, you know what I'm saying? Like, we not gonna be the 1960s story that they look back at 50, 60 years in the future, and I'm like arm in hand with you like this. You not holding me up like I'm a bit, bro. I can't do it. I can't.
He is a danger to the world and to his community.
I fuck with it heavy though.
I made a comic book. This is it. It's called Astro's Falter. Astros is a supernatural, somewhat horror-themed comic series.
Sean, what the fuck? You right.
With a comedic and cozy twist. The story takes place in this timeline and in this universe. It's a story about a girl who spends her entire life training against the invisible demons that roam our world, all before the magical seal keeping her invulnerable to demons begins to disappear.
Now, I ended up making a post on my Instagram. Make sure y'all go follow this, by the way. And I was curious on what was my black nerd's experience.
Being a black nerd with some crazy plot progression. If you liked any type of anime, niggas were gonna fry your shit alive. And the crazy thing about it is the same people that would be trying to clown you would be the same people trying to be in projects with you and the same people trying to copy answers. But I'm not gonna lie, going to college was probably the best decision I ever made, bro.
I just can't. I hear the anime thing. I just can't, bro. I can't. I remember we had a computer class too. We had free time. Our computer teacher let us do whatever we want for the last hour. And it was like, they literally came up to me. He was like, yeah, you be watching that anime shit, yeah? And I'd be like, yeah. It was like that subtitle shit. Like, what the fuck is that? They just didn't understand the concept. And so I thought to myself, I'm like, what's the hardest shit I could show these niggas right now to get these niggas to get off my dick about anime? And I think I showed them Rock Lee versus Gaara, like after that came out. The entire hour we were sitting there off of a illegal website watching 3-4 Naruto episodes back to back because these niggas wanted to know how it started. I have never in my life had an issue connecting with people because they thought I was too much in the anime. That is just crazy to me, bro. And you know what we did after? We went 30 seconds in the bathroom. Why are y'all saying question mark? 30 seconds mean you're boxing in the gym locker room or in the bathroom for 30 seconds. What are you talking about? Niggas don't know what 30 seconds mean.
Every
Oh my
girl
God,
that ever. I'm 23 and live in Davison.
23?
I'm also one that don't go out like that, so it's mainly off the apps.
Oh, no wonder, my nigga. You talking, you grabbing, bro, you grabbing, what is that thing called? You grabbing hinge ass. Bro, I feel like you're too young to be on dating apps. I feel like dating apps is for, yeah, and I'm forcing my own takes here. It's probably not wise, but like, I personally feel like dating apps are like for 40 and up. I feel like, but again, I could be wrong. You know, I'm coming from a perspective of someone who don't use dating apps. That's fine. It's nothing wrong with using them. And I'm trying to steer away from this ideology I have deeply embedded in my soul where even though I don't mean to be like this, somewhere in my heart, I probably feel like niggas with no options use dating apps. Obviously, that's not true. I hope. It's not Mr. Bitches. It's just more like well, I be outside a lot. A lot. And I don't mean I be hoeing around. It just mean like I'm always running into somebody, I feel like. Or just doing something super mundane. And then, boom, here go one. Boom, here go one. Boom, here go one. Here go one. It's just so many interactions that I feel like you can just... There's so many opportunities, I feel like. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like it's hard to be in that space.
I used them because I don't go out like that. Never been the type to. Not that I'm scared to, but don't like the environments. So that takes away a lot of opportunities to mingle in my age group.
I feel that, but what were we saying to do earlier? You might not have a choice. I know you don't like the environments, but if some of those environments contain a group of people that you want, you might have to attend. There's going to be people there that you're going to either find parts of yourself in, or you're going to be like, you know, actually this person I'm more alike than I thought I would be. I wouldn't paint it with such a broad stroke. You feel me?
If you don't mind me asking, a previous stream ago you made a remark that you don't be on socials like that. Right. Can you explain how?
I won't say it like, and I always tell y'all this, it's not that I'm too cool for the internet. Oftentimes I don't have a chance to look while I'm going through my day to day. Even when I get an opportunity, I don't really post that often because ain't nothing to say. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to want to be on socials when, like, I feel like I feed more time into the people that I know, like in real life. So that takes me away from wanting to use the internet as much when I'm not on stream, obviously. You get what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with using the internet. It's just a lot that keeps me off of the apps and off of, you know, social media in general. Like if I showed you my private, my Instagram, for example, like you'd be like, yo, why don't you ever post? Everybody in my personal life asks me, why don't you post? A girl asked me for my Instagram, why don't you post on here? This doesn't look normal. You're clearly showing me a fake page. Like I can't even, it's such a social barrier whenever you bring up my media, because I don't seem like a real person. Like ever. I just don't like using it like that. I really, it don't mean nothing to me. And I tried to at one point in my life, and then I just lost interest in it.
Because I found my community here. There's a bunch of black nerds here, and we've shared things with each other, and you know, I mean,
is there anything in particular that's preventing you from like going out more though? Is what I would ask.
Welcomed. I don't feel judged or anything like that, man. And you know, people are a lot more accepting here. But to be honest with you, man, I've absolutely loved the journey. Like this upcoming spring 2026, I'm graduating with my bachelor's of science in psychology, bro, and we're going to med school after that. So to all my black nerds out there, don't be afraid to be you, bro.
We really need to talk about the hatred for black women in the black nerd community, because a lot of black nerds, they like hang with white nerds, of course, and they want to be accepted by them. So then they just start shitting on black women and be like, yeah, they're ghetto, and just start talking shit about them, right? And then also talk bad about women in general. A lot of nerds, they can't get girls, so they talk shit about.
Where do I go to meet women? Nowhere in particular. I meet them everywhere. That's what prevents me from, I guess, thinking about like an app. Like they've stopped me at a mall, they've stopped me at a Kroger, they've stopped me at a Target, at a Walmart, at a doctor's office, at a gas station. I mean, I think a bigger question is, where haven't I met one? Here we go, nigga. Like nigga asked me a question, boom, I can't answer the question. I feel like they're everywhere. Like or the opportunity is everywhere. I feel like I would never be the type to be like, oh yeah, I'm this or I'm that. I mean sometimes, but like not all the time. I think just being social requires like sometimes certain timing and certain windows of opportunity. You get what I'm saying? Like that's really what it is. If you unattractive, you kind of cooked. That's not entirely true. Go outside and vibe, they will come to you. I'm not trying to sell false dreams here. Hold on. All right, I'm not saying it like that. And a woman definitely can't give no advice on that situation, I feel like, because even like a somewhat okay looking woman is gonna probably get more attention than, you know, a decent looking dude, potentially, if he don't have like a little bit of like a allure to him. But I'm speaking again from my experience. You know what? Don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me. This cause my perspective on it is gonna be skewed. Not necessarily gonna be like accurate to what I feel like people are gonna experience like on average. Cause even for me, I feel like I've had some shit happen to me that's just insane. Personally. So I can't. I mean, I didn't, yeah.
How does one obtain this self-love? Not having to seek for approval. I am someone that gets praised by many, ages 45 and up. Dress good, act good, handsome, etc. But when it comes to my age group, I never hear anything like that. So I'd quap.
No, it's just the way that the fucking voice reader read that shit out to me. What I think that means, and don't take this the wrong way, but what I'm getting from what you're saying is that you look good to an older generation. Meaning like you look traditional. Maybe you look like easy to find, and that makes them comfortable. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? But for people within your age range, I think maybe it would increase like what people look at you for or look at you as if maybe you like stood out more. Maybe. I don't know. I can't say. I literally cannot say. But the only reason I could picture older people specifically giving you those compliments. Some older people are also just nice. And like that's like their lingo. Like they literally will butter you up, and that's like the way that they talk. Some older women especially just call you honey and sweetie and, you know, say you're this and you're that. And some people literally associate youth with attractiveness. Some older people will look at a young person regardless of like their attractiveness and just be like, oh, this is handsome or beautiful because it's just young. And I'm not saying that you're not handsome or attractive. That's not what I'm saying. But that might be why you have a different reception to people your age range versus old. You know, and it depends how old for a large portion. You know, like, focus on yourself and really hone in on what makes you unique and what makes you feel good, and then you can express yourself to other people. Because if you do that, there's never going to be a point in your life where you feel like you're trying to be something that you're not to attract a certain type of people.
And also, along with the red pill community, because a lot of the nerds, they want to get their anime physique, so they start watching those, and then those workout videos turn into how to get girls videos, and also turns into hating women videos.
My experience of being a black nerd is a bit different from other people, not only because of the era that I grew up in, but also because of the environment. With me being a 2000s kid, I was never really feeling...
If I DM you and show you what I look like, without implying or showing chat, can you be honest and tell me if I'm truly ugly, or is it just in my head? Overthinking due to life experiences.
No. I don't want you DMing men on the internet and asking how you look. You know, me a part of that demographic. What I will say, though, is I don't believe in ugly people. So regardless of what you look like, it won't matter, is all I'm telling you. What does matter is how comfortable you make people feel and how good you make them feel and how you feel about yourself. That's really what all these things come down to. So you could have shown me any picture. We could have looked at any video, any photo. None of that's going to come back around to how people feel around you. You know what I'm saying? All I could tell you is make sure you know who you are and make sure you hone in on a particular style or interest that you have. And I guarantee you, like, people are going to come around. And you also, like I said, as an adult, it is a mandatory thing. You have to learn how to communicate. That is it. It's one of the biggest things. You cannot go through, you know, the remainder of your adult life with the shy moniker. You can't, unfortunately. That shy shit is cute when you like 13, 14 years old, 12, you know what I'm saying? You're a little younger. When you are grown, nobody's holding your hand. You gotta talk. You gotta speak. And not only speak, but speak in a way that like knows how to move a room a little bit. Sorry. It's unfortunate, but that is a skill that you're gonna have to develop.
This might come out harsh, but when did you discover that looks wasn't everything, Sean Bob?
I'm not gonna say looks aren't everything, but looks are a lot. I will say that. What I will say though is when you speak for a while, communication eventually matters more than looks. But looks are a lot. They're not the maintainer and they're never the foundation. They're cool though. Don't get me wrong, they're cool.
I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in lower income neighborhoods, and there were
I showed you the photo bucket photos. Sure.
a lot of black folks within those neighborhoods. So a lot of us bonded over these things that would be looked at as nerdy. There's a reason that schools would ban Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's a reason schools would ban all the Bakugan toys and Beyblades. And I'm sure every kid that grew up in the 2000s had that feeling of watching a cartoon on Saturday morning and holding in that excitement when Monday came. Everyone couldn't wait to gather around the lunch table and talk about the latest episode of Dragon Ball or Sonic X or whatever was on Saturday morning at that time. But what I'm trying to get at is there was never really a point in time where being a nerd worked against me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit of a social butterfly. I would hang with the theater kids, I would hang with the anime nerds, the music heads that were...
This was me. No, first of all, you wearing a cowboy. Do I have this shirt? Oh my fucking God. I found my people. But, bro, I don't think there was a group of kids that didn't know me or I didn't have like some association with, because niggas was just cool. That was it. You just spoke to everybody. You just had a little in with everybody. It was like, it was fun.
Rap at the lunch tables, I was bouncing around and talking to everybody. I can't really think of a point in time where liking anime or liking comic books or liking video games, whatever, I can't think of a time where that wasn't cool, especially when the second anime boom happened in the 2010s. If anything, that point in time...
Sure, I bully people. I never bully nobody, I'm gonna be honest. That's just not my repertoire, bro.
Worked in my favor. Because a lot of black folks who weren't into anime or anything at that time, they knew someone who was. So they would approach me and ask me, hey, what's up with Naruto? What's attack?
I had my dad watching Kid Goku on Dragon Ball GT versus whoever the fuck. I forgot who the fuck he was fighting. The nigga he was a robot nigga. He went Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. And my dad was dying laughing because he could not believe this little nigga was beating ass.
I'm talking about, I heard Dragon Ball is coming back. What's Dragon Ball Super about? If there was someone who wasn't caught up with the latest geekdom...
Was it real though? I don't remember the nigga name.
Fandom news, they came to me because they knew someone who was. And as far as being a black nerd specifically goes, I don't think there was ever a time where...
I don't know why he found it so humorous. Like, this nigga was dead crying, laughing.
If someone did shame me for being a nerd, it didn't make me want to question whether or not I wanted to be around other black people. I never thought that black people didn't like anything that I was into. That's just ridiculous. But even if you don't know black people who are nerds, you know at least one black person who watched Dragon Ball Z. They may not know jack shit about Power Rangers, but I bet you they know what happened with Goku versus Frieza.
All my black nerds, come to the podium. I want y'all to give y'all experience in the comment section. Did you have a similar experience to me? Did you have a similar experience to anyone in this video? I am curious. Also, we hit 90,000 subscribers. Yo, we getting so close to 100K. We closing in on the year 2025.
Were you bullied? I wasn't. I got in a good amount of fights though, but I was never bullied.
And I low-key want to clutch this 100K before the year ends. So if you made it to the end right here and you not subscribed and you enjoyed the video, subscribe. What you doing? Also turn the post notifications on. No more talking. If you want to see something similar to this, go.
How many fights you lose back to back? See, this is the thing, bro. Y'all let me know how much you hold me in high regard when you got to make up scenarios where I lose, because you know all I do in life for the most part is win. And that's the fucked up part, bro. I showed you the rolls that I made earlier. You like, how did you do it? You tried to dick suck them. You talked to me about, asked me about women. I try to always downplay myself because I'm not trying to make niggas feel uncomfortable, insecure. I try to have to like low key on my shit. I don't bring up no girls. I don't bring no girls on stream. I don't do none of this shit. I just be on some chill shit. And I know what niggas is trying to do, but I know how you really feel. And that's what really be getting me now in my life, is that like I'm too wise for the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? Like the little games where it's like you play pretend like you hate, but you really love and admire. Like I see through it, bro. Like it's just on some of y'all it's attractive, on some of y'all, you know, on most of y'all it's not. And it's just that at the end of the day, like you just gotta just try to get in where you fit in. You feel me? You got the jacket on one shoulder like a thought, bro. I can't help where the jacket fall, bro. I just bought it because like, yo, it just sit on my body, and then I'm like, oh shit. Like if the shoulder pop out, it pop out. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I have like the women in your family. I should have came to your Thanksgiving so I could have fucked on one of your siblings. On God. Now you about to say, oh wow, my sister, she only 13 type vibe. I wouldn't have said that if I knew. Again, you trying to put out information after the fact to make me look away when I'm not that way. Again, because you're trying to make a narrative, and that's obviously not what it is. Facts. See, all my siblings under 16. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's the same shit. Like, you're predictable, bro. Like, find a new script.